Hello everyone, welcome to Cricket World, and it's the ICC World 2020 Day 12, and we've cracked on now with the last of the Super 8 of course to finish this part of the tournament, and a couple of games of cricket, JP, that were very, very different.
Indeed they were. We had a great game and then a not so great game, and we do now know that England will play Sri Lanka and Australia will play Pakistan in the ICC World 2020 finals coming up on Thursday and Friday. Two
games to look at here of course today. India-Sri Lanka was first up, followed by West Indies and Australia. And I must have thought the first game, first of all, that India went out an absolute charge today, and we really thought that there was going to be some fireworks. Of course there were. Rayner started off 63 off 47 balls. I mean, he does go off at an absolute train. Well supported by Gibson Gambhir, 41 off 32. Although I will note there are only 2 sixes in the first part of the innings, which was a completely different start to the sort of match than you would normally expect from the Indian openers. Pathan and Dhoni, they came in with a little bit of a cameo just to round off the innings, but 163 for 5 wasn't really going to be enough. I wasn't too sure. I don't know what your thoughts were.
India needed to win by 24, didn't they, to make sure they could still progress, and I thought they're probably not quite going to have the bowling attack to do that.
That was the key thing, wasn't it? And Sri Lanka in the end, not only did they reach the target of not being 24 behind, but actually towards the end of the game they won it with a 6 off the last ball. After early dismissal of both the Jays, as I've called them, Jayashree and Joe Vordner, they are out 6 for 2 chasing this total, and in fact Kumar Sangakkara and Chamarara Cooper-Gadera, Angela Matthews shall I say, both got 46 each, and they were hitting boundaries to all parts, 4s and 6s, but it was Cooper-Gadera that finished off in fine style, 37 off 16 balls, including the last ball 6, and surely enough Sri Lanka, not only did they get themselves after that total but through to a position where they could in fact go through to the semi-finals.
6 off the final ball over cover. I think that is the way to win a game of cricket. Another way of winning a game of cricket is bowling your opponents out for a very cheap score and then just ease home in 16 overs. So exactly what Australia did against the West Indies. It was, I'm afraid, not much of a game. We've had 4 games under floodlights and none of them have been thrillers. I think there's probably a message there. West Indies were bowled out, shot out, rolled, whatever you want to call it. 105 in just 19 overs. They lost Chris Gayle to the second legitimate delivery of the match, and that was, for me, the end of the game. Their shoulders dropped. You can see they weren't really going to win from there on. Great effort from Steve Smith, his reputation burgeoning all the time. The leg spinner, 3 for 20, a couple of cheap wickets at the end for David Hussey, and a couple more for Mitchell Johnson, who's coming into some good form towards the business end of the tournament. In reply, Australia, we thought they might go out and just try and smash the West Indies sort of 10 overs in the end. Warner and Watson fell relatively early, and it's down to Brad Haddin, Michael Clarke and the rest just to, as I say, milk the singles, rather like an ODI innings, and just get them home with plenty of time to spare. Haddin top scoring with 42, an easy 6-wicket win there, and the West Indies comfortably out.
Okay, so that was the last of the Super 8 games. We now know the semi-finals, as you mentioned at the top of the programme there, and they are going to be an absolute couple of cracking games, aren't they?
They are. We've got the 2 formed teams in the tournament, really. England and Australia have been kept apart. It may well be a mini Ashes sort of final. England take on Sri Lanka, and again, if you look at the form, you've got to say England go into that game as favourites. They've got a lot of key players performing, particularly most recently Tim Bresnan, Owen Morgan. They may have Kevin Peterson back. How important could that be? But we've seen today that Sri Lanka, their top order has been pretty brittle, with the exception of Mahela Javadina, but today their middle order showed their teeth as well. So Angelo Matthews, Chamarara Cooper-Gadera, even Kumar Sangakkara in the run. So that game really could be an absolute thriller.
Okay, well, as you say, we've kept the big seeds apart there. Australia-Pakistan is played the day after, as it's on the Friday. Saturday's a rest day, and then the final on Sunday.
That's right. Of course, Australia beat Pakistan in the group stage. They've beaten them quite a lot in the last year or so. They go into that game as favourites, but we'll have to wait and see. We'll look ahead to that in a little more detail after the England-Sri Lanka game. And
of course, women's semi-finals are on the same day, and they've been kept apart, so we're looking forward to some good days of cricket. Well, nearing the end, just semi-finals and finals to go now. It's been a wonderful tournament. We've seen some great cricket today in the early part of the day, some disappointing finishing there from the West Indies, but all in all I think it's going to be a great weekend to come, and we're all looking forward to it. And we're looking forward to seeing you here again in Cricket World.